Hey guys, so we're looking at 9.2 day one's homework where you get to keep me on mute and skip through the video while you look at the answers. Hopefully not. I'm just kidding. Hopefully. And if that's you, shame on you. But we're going to do these problems and I'm going to ramble about whatever I want to talk about. And I might talk about the problems when they're interesting. So the instructions were to do what? Find the x-intercept, y-intercept, and vertical asymptote. I think that's right. X-intercepts. Do I want to use that color? Let's use yellow. X-intercept. Set the top equal to 0 and solve. And so you get negative 3 comma 0. Y-intercept. Plug in 0 for x. And so that would go to 0, that would be 0, and so you'd get negative 3/5. And then vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote. What color? How about teal? Vertical asymptote. That's where you set the bottom equal to 0 and solve. And so you'd get x minus 5 equals 0. And so x equals 5. So here's our three pieces. Whoops. This one, and this one. That's our answers. Number 2. Moving right along here. Oh man, I told myself that I'm going to try to go for world record pace. What colors did I use? Yellow, light blue, and teal. Yellow. X-intercept. 5x plus 2 equals 0. 5x is equal to negative 2. X is equal to negative 2/5. So negative 2/5. 0. Boom, done. Then light blue. Y-intercept. It was something like that's your y-intercept right there. Because when you plug in 0 for x, that would go to 0. This would go to 0. And so you'd have 2 over negative 4, which is negative 1/2. And then vertical asymptotes. That is setting the bottom equal to 0. Well, that's easy peasy. And then our answers. Man, we are blazing through here. I'm not even having time to be sidetracked. Man, it is getting pretty late though. I need to go cook dinner. I like to eat dinner super late. Well, not super duper late, but pretty late. I'm not like my grandparents who think dinner is at what time do they think dinner is? I think the last time we had dinner at their house it was at like 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's time for dinner, but they don't even go to sleep late. They're not like your stereotypical. What color was this? Yellow. They're not like your stereotypical grandparents that go to sleep at like 5 p.m. and they get up in the morning at like 2 a.m. I can't even imagine. I have a bit of a story about my upbringing. I maybe you can learn a little bit about me if you want or interested. I when I was going to high school, I went to high school at Grove, and when I was at Grove, my mom and my stepdad at the time separated basically when it was going into my senior year, and I was living my senior year. I had a choice. It was like, do I want to move to where my mom has to move, or do I want to stay with my grandma who lives down the street? And my choice was to stay with my grandma because my grandma was very nice. She's an amazing woman, and I stayed with her. And she had a room for me, and this room was pretty nice. And I had a computer, my computer, because I had built my computer, and I played computer games like all the time, of course. And I got I was playing World of Warcraft. And at this point in time, I had like my students do, some of them, I had difficulty controlling the volume of my voice. I swear this is true. What I'm about to tell you, I had difficulty controlling the volume of my voice. And my grandma, she's such a sweetheart. She would like, man, this is just how awesome she was. She would, or is, she's still alive as of 2018 anyway. Thank God. And she loves to cater, I guess is a good word for it. She loves to be like a traditional sort of like wife, I guess, to her husband and to her kids. I guess not wife to her kids, but grandma. And so she would make me food all the time, and she'd like go through the effort of. And I was like I was 17 years old. She'd like make food. She'd like bring it into my room, be like, Cody, here's your dinner. And I was like, Grandma, I can go and get the food. I'm not helpless. And she's like, oh, I know. I just like bringing you food, taking care of you. And then what did I do? The jerk kid I was. Oh my God. What did I write? X squared. I would. This is not a lie, man. If I had my face cam up, you'd see me, right? I could turn it on real quick. Here. Like this is what I would do. Oh man. Oh man. Okay. This is what I would do. Oh my gosh, I feel so embarrassed for this. This is unbelievable. How stupid I was. I'd sit there. This was like on a weeknight. I stayed up way later on weeknights than I do now. I stay up till 10:30 now. That's it. I'm holding my webcam, by the way. That's why it's not in a fixed position here. I stayed up until 10:30 now, but I used to go to bed at like 2 a.m. And when I went to bed, before that, I'd be playing World of Warcraft on my computer in my room. And I'd have a headset on, right? Like headphones and a microphone. And I'd be talking because I'd be in a raid, which is like this big organized event with we had like 20 people in this raid. And I was like top DPS as Fury Warrior for any World of Warcraft players. And this was back in Lich King. And I would be talking to the raid people, like, I'm doing this, yada, yada, yada. And no joke, I would get a call from my grandma. Ugh. And she would tell me after she like delivers food to me and is so nice, she'd be like, Cody, I can hear you from my bedroom. And I was like, no, Grammy, no. I'm so sorry. I'll be quiet. I swear. And this happened like 5 times, not in one night, but like 5 times. I felt so bad. I was like, Jesus, how can I be such an idiot? Anyway, that's a true story. But how much of a stupid idiot I was and still am in many areas. Anyway, I thought I wasn't going to get sidetracked. I thought I was going to set a world record here. Big mistake. So I just decided to tell that story. Okay. Back to this. X-intercept. Man. X squared plus 4 equals 0. Oh, this is cool. Check this out. So in this case, you'd subtract 4, right? And then you'd square root. And you do plus or minus square root. But the square root of negative 4 is not even a real number. That's a complex number, right? Because the square root of negative numbers is has got I in it. And so this is going to be x equals plus or minus 2i. And so your intercepts are 2i, 0, and negative 2i, 0. That's pretty cool. Then y-intercepts, you're going to plug in 0 for x, and you get 4 over negative 3. So it's 0, 4 over negative 3. And then your, vertical asymptotes. That's where you set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. Man, thinking back on that story, My grandma has just amazing patience. You wouldn't think it because she, like, students tell me that I'm too honest. I get it from her, right? She is like honest, man. She will tell you like it is. And I get that from her, but I can't believe that. She's so nice though. If you are, you know, a person that is deserving to be nice to, right? A respectable person. X squared plus x minus 6. This is slide and divide, by the way. To set this equal to 0, you're going to have to slide and divide. And so you're going to get x plus 3 and x minus 2. And then you're going to divide by 2, divide by 2. You're going to get 2 x plus 3 and x minus 1. Set both those equal to 0. And you're going to get x equals negative 3 halves and x equals 1. So those are your two vertical asymptotes. Next problem. Oh my god, we still have 2 left. No world records from me. X-intercept. But I was blessed with the ability to like do math while I talk about other things, so which is pretty cool. I can sort of just carry on conversations and my hand just kind of does it on its own. And I don't even have to do anything. I just sort of think about nothing and the math just solves itself. And it's like I get into this sort of zen where I'm really just thinking about whatever and the math just works itself out. And I would do this in calculus too, like my calculus class in college. I would be doing calculus in college, and I'd always stroll into class exactly on time. And when test days showed up, I'd be like listening to music in my car beforehand, and then I'd have like this song stuck in my head, and 0, 0, 0, 0, by the way, and you're gonna get negative 10 over 8, which is negative 5 over 4, which is that's it. And so I'd stroll into my calculus test and I'd show up right on time. She'd hand my calculus teacher, I think her name was Miss Professor Lanou, I think. And she was one of my best instructors. And she'd give me my test. I'd sit like right in the front row. I would finish my test in like 6 minutes. And then I would put it on her desk and I would leave. And I would ace those tests, man. And I felt so good about it. The entire time I was taking the tests, I would sit there and sort of like quiet, like silently, or in my head, I'd be thinking about the songs I was listening to. And I would just like jam to the songs in my head while my hands just work out the calculus. I've gotten a lot stupider though since then. Back in my heyday. I'm still okay, but it's difficult to speak to you guys while I'm narrating or while I'm doing that. I sort of like have to zone out and I can't carry on a conversation very well while doing it. I mean, I can do it okay, but we are moving on. Okay, finally. Man, that one took a lot of work. And finally, did I write my x-intercepts as ordered pairs? No, I did not. Man, that's important to do. And then, moving on, x-intercepts. Last one, oh my gosh, x squared minus 4 equals 0. Add 4. Square root, remember plus or minus. So you get 2, 0, and negative 2, 0. Then you've got your y-intercept, which I will use this color. And then that cancels to 0, cancels to 0, cancels to 0, and you get 0. Negative 4 over negative 10, which is 2/5. And then the vertical asymptote is last. And that's setting x squared plus 3x minus 10 equal to 0 and solving. And so you get x plus 5, x minus 2, and so you get negative 5 and 2. Man, that was it. Hopefully, if you didn't enjoy my story, hopefully you learned a little more about me. It's totally based on a true story, and by based on, I mean 100% true. I should link this video to my grandma. Be like, look, I mention you in my video. She this is how sweet she is. She occasionally just sends me random texts that says, "So proud of you." How nice is that? It's very nice of her. Anyway, that was that. Hopefully you enjoy your stuff.